My heart cracked the moment I saw my old quilt lying beside the trash cans, and I swear I stood there longer than any grown woman should, frozen between disbelief and hurt. I had only stopped by my daughter's house to drop off a batch of blueberry muffins, nothing dramatic. But the smell of damp cardboard and yesterday's coffee filters hit me first, and then I saw it, my quilt, the one I stitched through 30 years of raising kids, stuffed in a garbage bag like it was nothing more than clutter. That quilt held pieces of our life, tiny corners of prom dresses, worn-out pajamas, even a scrap from the shirt my husband wore when we brought our first baby home. I stitched it all by hand during late nights when the house was finally quiet. And now it was lying in the alley, half covered by a broken lamp. When I walked inside, the whole place smelled of fresh paint and lemon cleaner. My daughter-in-law was bouncing around, proud of herself in that cheerful way that sometimes feels sharp around the edges. "We're doing a big declutter," she said, waving her hands like she was revealing a game show prize. Everything looked polished, color-coordinated, spotless. I asked about the quilt, even though I already knew the answer. She barely looked up from her phone. "Oh, that old thing? It didn't match the guest room. We figured you wouldn't mind." The casual tone of her voice hit me harder than the words. Like I was supposed to be grateful they'd finally updated the house. I didn't trust myself to speak, so I stepped outside before my throat gave way. But when I reached the alley again, the quilt was gone. For a moment I panicked, like losing it twice would break me completely. Then, from across the fence, I heard a familiar voice. "Looking for this, honey?" It was my neighbor, Mrs. Thompson, holding the quilt in her arms like it was a newborn. Her gardening gloves were still on, dirt and all, and she told me she saw the garbage truck coming and grabbed the quilt before it got crushed. Sunlight hit the faded fabric behind her, and suddenly everything smelled like Sunday mornings again, pancakes, laundry, and a life that once felt so full. I hugged her, probably too tightly, and she laughed, patting my arm. "Some things have value even if other people don't see it," she said. "Don't let anyone tell you different." On the drive home, I kept the quilt on the passenger seat, running my fingers over the seams. Every stitch felt like a heartbeat, steady in mine. My children might outgrow the things I made, but that doesn't erase the love I put into them. Back in my quiet kitchen, I laid the quilt across my lap and smoothed it with both hands. It wasn't just saved, it was reclaimed. And so was I.